Hey there guys, gals, and non-binary pals, GM Potter here. Welcome to my channel where I talk about books and bookish things. I upload on Thursdays and Tuesdays, and today I have a review of a book that came out this year, and that is When the Tides Held the Moon by Venessa Vida Kelley. Let's get into it. So this book is a queer romantasy in the vibes of The Shape of Water meets The Greatest Showman is how it's been described. All right, so let's start with the book blurb. In Coney Island, true love rises to the surface. With lush illustrations and buoyant prose, Venessa Vida Kelley forges an unforgettable New York fairy tale. Benito Benny Caldera knows an orphan Boricua blacksmith in the 1910s in New York City can't call himself an artist, but the ironwork tank he creates for famed Coney Island playground Luna Park astounds the eccentric sideshow proprietor who commissioned it. He invites Benny to join the show's eclectic cast and share in their shocking secret. The tank will cage the newest exhibit, a live merman stolen from the salty banks of the East River. More than a mythic marvel, Benny soon comes to know the merman, Rio, as the kindred spirit, wise and more compassionate than any human he's ever met. Despite their different worlds, what begins as a friendship of necessity deepens to love, leading Benny's heart into uncharted waters, where he can no longer ignore the agonizing truth of Rio's captivity and his own. Releasing Rio could mean losing his found family, his new home, and his soulmate forever. Yet Benny's courageous choice may just reveal love strong enough to free them both. I'm already starting to tear up because this book was so good. The ending had me in tears. Like, just the last chapter before the epilogue had me in tears, and then the epilogue was so cute and so sweet. And okay, so this book is 464 pages. It came out this year, 2025. It was one of the books that I pre-ordered for this year that I was really excited about. I pre-ordered it literally based off the cover. And I'll include some snapshots of the illustrations here because the illustrations are absolutely gorgeous. I love these illustrations. They're done in a beautiful style that reminds me of Alphonse Mucha a little bit, but without the color palette, if that makes sense. Like, take a look for yourself. Anyway, so this one has a dual point of view between Benigo in first person and Rio, which is also in first person, but written in kind of a poetry and prose kind of a style, because to the mermaids and the mermans and the merthems, because there are such things, which I thought was a really cool addition, everything is music. That they call a group of mer people a harmony, and they sing, and that everything is music, and that's how they learn languages. That they know every language that every language that's ever been spoken by a sailor on the sea, the mer people know, which I thought was really cool. Because they're like, yeah, we want to learn how y'all sing to each other. And it's like, okay. And this book had the odd effect on me that it made me homesick. Very few things make me homesick for where I grew up. I moved across the state. I grew up down on the Mexican border in the Rio Grande Valley, down by South Padre Island, which is the only real beach in Texas, I maintain. It's got white sugar sands. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's not Galveston, which is currently, as of filming this, I think it is voted as the worst beach in the U.S. Thanks, Houston. But this book made me homesick in the way that it was told, because the main character speaks both English and Spanish, and it's told first person, so we get to peek into his mind a little bit, and he thinks in English and Spanish at the same time. And that's something that growing up on the border, I was used to. I'd be talking to someone and they'd forget a word in English, and instead of pausing and thinking of the word in English, they'd just say the word in Spanish and keep going. If there was a phrase that, say, didn't translate very well, they'd just say the phrase in the other language and keep going. And it was something that if I had spoken both at home, I think I would have a better grasp on Spanish. As it stands, I can understand it a lot better than I can speak it. So what that means is you can talk trash about me and I'll know, but I won't necessarily be able to tell you that I know. So I know what you're saying, but you don't know that I know what you're saying, I guess, is a way to phrase that. I'm working on it. I'm using Rosetta Stone. I used Duolingo, but the owl gave me nightmares. Anyway, the slipping back and forth between English and Spanish and not always translating it, like leaving it up to the audience to either translate it on their own or to know what he's saying from context clues or to just know Spanish, I thought was a really interesting narrative device. I'm very proud to say I didn't have to use Google Translate once to know what they were saying. I know enough of the vocabulary to follow along. But something you see in a lot of books, whether it's in English and Spanish, is they'll say the phrase, or English in a foreign language, or two languages, is the language that's mainly written in, and then the other language is they'll have the phrase in the other language, and then they'll put somewhere else in the same paragraph what they were saying, or they'll put it in the next paragraph. Like they'll put it very close to it. Something, something, something. When he said that, what he really meant was this, even though the words he said were this, or like they'll excuse it away, they'll lampshade it. And this book didn't do that. And I really appreciated taking the audience serious enough and respecting the audience and respecting the reader and respecting the intelligence of the reader, I guess I should say, that this took. That if you are actually paying attention and want to know what they're saying, you can look it up. Like, I just thought that was such a great literary device, and it made me homesick. And very few books managed to make me homesick outside of Silvia Moreno Garcia's books, which take place almost exclusively in Mexico. This one takes place in New York City, and it's got complex characters. It's got lush storytelling. It's absolutely beautiful to look at. Like, the book was just a feast for the senses because everything is told in the five senses. Like, we get how things taste and how things smell and how things feel and how they sound and how just everything all at once, everything everywhere all at once was this book. And it's a queer story. Our main character is gay. He's closeted until the very end. Mild spoilers. It's got found family. It's an enemies to friends to lovers romance. And I just really, really love this book. It's a 0 on the spice scale. Like, there's some kissing and there's a little else, but it's closed door. So what they actually did is up to the reader's interpretation, because it's like, he's a merman, he's a human. What's going on there? Like, the author left it up to the reader's imagination to imagine how things would go or not, which I thought was really nice. This book, 5 of 5 stars. I absolutely adored this book. I think this is her debut book, which, what a beautifully strong way to come into the literary space with this work. Like, I'm looking on Goodreads and it says books, Venessa Vida Kelley's books, and it just lists When the Tides Held the Moon. This is a strong start. This is a strong way to break into the literary space, and I am here for it. Like, I have a feeling this author is going to be one of my auto buys, that if I find out she's written something else, I'm just going to buy it. Like Silvia Moreno Garcia, like Stephen King, like Jane Austen, should she choose to release anything else? I doubt it. It's been several years. But if Jane Austen releases another book, I will buy it. Partly because of morbid curiosity. The lady's been dead for a while, unless she's a vampire. No shade to vampires. But yeah, When the Tides Held the Moon was utterly fantastic. Have you read it? Are there any books that you've read that were just beautiful and lush and, like, outside of the storytelling? Like, the book is gorgeous, but then you get to the storytelling and the storytelling is encapsulating and it draws you in and it's just utterly majestic in everything that it is. I would love to hear those types of books that you've been reading. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.